Hello there, very good afternoon to you. Welcome to Lunchtime News. We are coming to you live from the Newsfirst studio here in Colombo. Before we head into the news in detail, here's a look at the headlines.
Chairman and a member of the Cabinet appointed Standing Procurement Committee resign. Vice Admiral Travis Sinnaya appointed as the new Navy Commander. National Lotteries Board and Development Lotteries Board reassigned to the Finance Ministry. Spanish police foil a second attack.
To your lead story this afternoon, the chairman and a member of the cabinet appointed Standing Procurement Committee have resigned. When Newsfirst made inquiries in this regard, a member of the committee, Dr. Suren Bhattagoda, confirmed that the chairman of the Standing Procurement Committee, G.S. Vithanage, has stepped down from his post. In addition, a member of the committee and a former finance director at the Sri Lanka Air Force, J.R.L. Vasantha, has also stepped down from the committee. The Secretary to the Ministry of Finance has been informed of the resignations. The 5-member Standing Procurement Committee was appointed by the Cabinet to ensure transparency in the government procurement process. Also on local news, the National Lotteries Board and the Development Lotteries Board have been reassigned to the Ministry of Finance. An extraordinary Gazette notification was issued in this regard, bearing the signature of President Maithripala Sirisena. When former Minister Ravi Kannanayake was appointed as a Minister of Foreign Affairs, the National Lotteries Board and the Development Lotteries Board were assigned to the Foreign Ministry. Tilak Marapan assumed duties as a new Minister of Foreign Affairs at an event held at the ministry this morning.
I'm very happy to approach these circumstances under which I came to accept this office. It's not very conducive and I have some feelings about it. Nonetheless, it is with a great sense of humility and responsibility that I accept this office, being mindful of the importance that this ministry has to perform in regard to our matters in Sri Lanka, because unless we project a correct image of our country to the foreign world, we will not be able to achieve the results that we really want to achieve. If we want investments to come in, if we want tourism to flourish, then we have to show that we are a very responsible country. We take our human rights issues very seriously and we don't want to discriminate any country. We want to have friendly relations with all countries equally.
Vice Admiral Travis Sinnaya has been appointed as the new commander of the Sri Lanka Navy by President Maithripala Sirisena. Travis Sinnaya previously held the appointments as the commander of Eastern Naval Area and flag officer commanding Naval Fleet. Travis Sinnaya, a product of Trinity College, Kandy, joined the Sri Lanka Navy as a cadet in 1982, and he also received his training at the British Royal Naval College. Vice Admiral Travis Sinnaya made a number of heroic contributions during the war in destroying and capturing enemy ships. He succeeds Vice Admiral Ravindra Vijay Gunaratna, whose term as the new commander is to end on the 22nd of August. He will be the 22nd commander of the Sri Lanka Navy. Now on to a political story. An event was held yesterday to establish Gamata Diriyak Ratata Saviyak community groups of the JVP in Anuradhapura.
Ranil Wickramasinghe visited the World's End recently, and I was afraid when he returned to Colombo because he could have thought of signing an agreement to sell this as well. Don't let him come close to the Candy Lake, as he might sell this as well. Their only policy is to sell state assets. Farmers are finding it difficult to survive, but the administration is not doing anything about it. The businessmen are saying that they are being taxed unfairly and that they are trapped in a tax net. The administration does not provide solutions to any of these issues. Farmers staged demonstrations after losing their harvests for 4 straight seasons. But what has the government done? Instead of providing the 10,000 rupee compensation that was promised, they make allocations to buy vehicles. This is the same in the Parliament and the Northern Provincial Council as well. The Chief Minister, the Governor and the newly appointed members are only serving themselves. There is no attention being paid to the plight of the people at the Provincial Council level.
On to a News First initiative story, the News First national campaign. Sri Lanka against corruption that is making its way across the country is currently creating awareness in 2 different districts today as well. The members of the northbound team toured across the district of Battikalo following religious observances at the Mamanga Pillayar Kovil. The general public who spoke to our team said that the politicians that they had elected are engulfed in bribery and corruption for the development of their own well-being while disregarding the public opinion and not enhancing public services and infrastructure. The other News First team, currently in the district of Colombo, will tour Avisavela today.
The News First national campaign, Sri Lanka Free of Corruption, is currently underway in 2 separate areas of the country. Right now I'm here in Avisavela at the Avisavela bus stand. So many promises have been made by these politicians for the people, but these promises still continue to remain just as promises. So this is the reason why we are carrying out this campaign, to create awareness among the general public regarding the corruption, regarding the misappropriation that is prevailing in this country. To tell them the corrupt activities that these politicians are carrying out, whom we have elected to power are carrying out, which stops Sri Lanka from progressing towards a developed country. So we'll be here in Avisavela this afternoon and we'll be visiting the areas of Ruanvela afterwards. So stay tuned to News First. We'll bring you more updates on the News First national campaign, Sri Lanka Free of Corruption. I'm Pavani Haparachi with the News First team from Avisavela.
On to a weather update, the Met Department says that areas affected by the drought may not receive rain until October. The Met Department says even though intermittent showers are being experienced at present across the country, they are not sufficient to fill the tanks that dried up during the drought. The water levels of a number of reservoirs in the Mavali zone have decreased significantly. As of yesterday, the water level in the Rangini Gala reservoir was marked at 0.03% and the water levels of the Victoria reservoir stood at 19.09%, while the water levels of the Rathambe reservoir stood at 0. The water level of the recently constructed Morogakhanda reservoir stands at 5.09%, and the Department of Irrigation says that a number of issues have arisen following the water levels of the reservoirs that supply drinking water reducing drastically. The National Water Supply and Drainage Board says that with the demand for water increasing, all arrangements have been made to supply water continuously. However, there will be intermittent water cuts in a number of areas, including Ranna and Mathura in the southern province. The Disaster Management Centre says water is being supplied by bowsers to areas affected by the drought. The Police Special Task Force has successfully raided an illegal liquor manufacturing plant that was being operated in a forest in Avisavela. The raid was carried out last evening based on a tip-off received by the Pugoda Police STF. Police said that an individual was arrested while equipment used in the liquor manufacturing process, as well as 3,375 litres of liquor, were seized. The suspect is a resident of Piliyandala. A number of accidents were reported during the course of the day today.
හිඟුරක්ගොඩ පොළොන්නරුව මාර්ගයේ 7 මුන ප්‍රදේශයේදී මෝටර රථයක්
A car had toppled in Hattamuna, Polonnaruwa at around 5 a.m. The car had been travelling from Hingurangoda to Polonnaruwa. Police believe that excessive speeding may have caused the accident. Our correspondent added that 3 people were in the vehicle at the time of the accident, adding that none of them suffered injuries. 1 person sustained injuries in a separate accident involving a private bus which was travelling from Colombo to Badulla and a cab at around 4 this morning. The driver of the cab, who sustained injuries as a result, has been admitted to the Badulla General Hospital. Police claim that reckless driving on the part of the bus driver had caused the accident. Meanwhile, jewellery which was attempted to be smuggled into the country from Singapore was nabbed by the customs officials last night. The suspect, who had arrived in the country last night, was identified as an officer of the Army Intelligence Unit. Investigations have been launched to identify the brains behind the smuggling incident. The Customs Authority emphasised that stringent actions will be taken if airport officials are seen to be involved in illegal activities such as smuggling.